Pripyat. Pripyat was built in 1970 as a model Soviet city for workers of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Wide boulevards, modern apartment blocks, schools, a hospital, and an amusement park were designed to represent technological optimism. In April 1986, after the reactor explosion, the entire population was evacuated within hours. People left behind furniture, toys, documents, and plans for the next day. Today, trees grow through cracked asphalt, classrooms sit frozen in time, and the Ferris wheel in the amusement park has become a global symbol of sudden abandonment. Pripyat is not just an empty city. It is a place where progress collided with catastrophe, leaving behind a perfectly preserved monument to a future that ended overnight. Hashima Island. Hashima Island, off the coast of Nagasaki, was once one of the most densely populated places on Earth. Built to support underwater coal mining, it became a compact concrete fortress rising straight from the sea. Apartment blocks, schools, shops, and rooftop playgrounds were stacked tightly within its seawalls. When coal declined in the 1970s, the mine closed and the residents left almost immediately. What remains is a vertical ghost city of shattered windows, collapsing staircases, and corridors open to the ocean wind. The island feels isolated even from time itself, a reminder of how quickly industrial power can become obsolete. Pyramiden. Pyramiden stands in the high Arctic on the Norwegian archipelago of Svalbard. Founded by Sweden and later operated by the Soviet Union, it was a coal mining settlement meant to demonstrate stability and culture in one of the harshest climates on Earth. The town had a theater, a swimming pool, a library, and even a statue of Lenin gazing toward the glacier. When mining stopped in 1998, the settlement was abandoned almost intact. Snow preserves the buildings, furniture still rests in rooms, and the silence feels complete. Pyramiden is less a ruin and more a paused reality, where ideology, industry, and isolation meet under a permanent cold sky. Fordlandia. Fordlandia was created in the Brazilian Amazon in the 1920s by Henry Ford. The goal was to secure rubber for his automobile empire and to build an American-style industrial town deep in the rainforest. Wooden houses, hospitals, factories, and even golf courses were constructed according to strict Midwestern standards. But the jungle resisted control. Rubber trees failed due to disease, local workers rejected imposed rules, and the climate made everyday life difficult. Within 2 decades, the project collapsed. Today, rusting machinery and empty buildings sit surrounded by dense vegetation. Fordlandia reveals the limits of ambition when it ignores environment and culture. Ordos. Ordos, specifically its Kangbashi district in Inner Mongolia, was designed in the early 2000s as a futuristic metropolis for hundreds of thousands of residents. Skyscrapers, museums, plazas, and residential towers rose rapidly from the grasslands, funded by a coal-driven economic boom. Infrastructure was completed before population demand could match it. For years, vast avenues remained nearly empty, and high-rise apartments stood largely unoccupied. Unlike sudden disaster zones, Ordos represents a slower, economic form of emptiness. It is a city that exists physically in full scale, yet feels emotionally unfinished, shaped by speculation rather than lived history. Varosha. Varosha was once the glamorous beachfront district of Famagusta in Cyprus. In the 1960s and early 1970s, luxury hotels lined the coast, attracting international celebrities and tourists. In 1974, following political conflict and military intervention, the area was sealed off and its residents fled. For decades, it remained inaccessible, fenced and guarded, while buildings decayed behind barbed wire. Curtains still hang in windows, and hotel lobbies remain abandoned where they were left. Varosha is a rare example of a resort frozen by geopolitics rather than economics or nature, its silence rooted in unresolved history. Kadykchan. Kadykchan was established in Russia's Far East during the Soviet era as a coal mining town. Like many industrial settlements, it depended almost entirely on a single resource. Apartment blocks, schools, and cultural halls formed a complete community in a remote and severe climate. After a mine explosion in the 1990s and the decline of coal production, the town was gradually evacuated. Residents were relocated, utilities were cut, and the Arctic cold began reclaiming the structures. Snow fills stairwells, windows shatter from frost, and buildings slowly deteriorate. Kadykchan reflects the vulnerability of mono-industrial towns once their economic purpose disappears. Craco. Craco rises on a steep hill in southern Italy, its stone buildings clustered tightly above a dramatic landscape. Founded in medieval times, it survived centuries of wars and shifting empires. In the 20th century, landslides and geological instability made living there unsafe. Residents relocated, leaving churches, homes, and narrow streets behind. Unlike modern concrete ghost cities, Craco feels ancient and theatrical. Wind moves through empty archways, and the skyline of towers and ruins stands against the sky almost unchanged. Craco shows that abandonment is not only a modern phenomenon. Even centuries-old communities can be forced to surrender to the ground beneath them.